Hello everyone, what's up? It's me again, Junkmaster3, and it's time for another update video. This is going to be a Blu-ray and DVD update, so I'm gonna start with the non-horror titles first, and then I'm gonna end it with the horror titles. So yeah, let's begin right away, because there's plenty of movies to go through. First up we have Narnia. This was actually sent to me by mistake because I actually ordered another film, but I do not have this film in my collection before, but I have seen it, of course. Did like it, but I did not care too much for the second one, and I haven't even seen the third one. So, but the first one is pretty good. So yeah, I'm glad with that. Then we have, I think this is a, yeah, this is a blaxploitation film called Black Shampoo. Never seen before, but like 70s blaxploitation. I mean, that's some really hilarious fun most of the time. Then we have this I ordered because it looked so stupid and hilarious. We're Back, a dinosaur's story. Of course, it's from the 90s because everyone was obsessed with dinosaurs back in that decade, especially since the Jurassic Park movies. Then we have the action film with, I think this is actually directed by C. Thomas Howell as well, but Pure Danger. Mainly picked this one up because it seems like, I've probably mentioned this before, but this company, I'm not sure if you can see it right there in the camera, but Replay, they usually release really obscure and entertaining, like late 80s, early 90s action films that aren't really well known. So yeah, Pure Danger. Well, I actually think that's from the late 90s, but yeah. Then we have the film called Slipstream. Picked up this one mainly because of Sean Astin and Vinnie Jones in it. So yeah, looked really interesting. Though it's like an action sci-fi type of deal. So yeah, Slipstream. Then this one I've always wanted to see mainly because of Willem Dafoe, because he, I think, is a great actor. And the film is called The Boondock Saints. Some mafia type of deal, I believe, or some crime action type of deal. Then we have a film which I picked up because the title was funny and it seems to be very like very weird, really. So the film's called I'm a Cyborg, but That's Okay. Then we have the film, I'm not really sure, I think this has some sort of other title as well, but I can't remember what the title is at the moment. But over here it's called Five Fingers, and I do remember I watched this on TV back in the day, but I don't remember that much about it at all because I mean I just think I saw some sort of clips from it, but I didn't see the entire film for some reason. So maybe I was tired or something. But yeah, Five Fingers with Lawrence Fishburne. Then we have a film called Split Decisions with Gene Hackman and what's his name? Oh god damn it! What is his name? Craig Sheffer. Yeah, sorry, I just completely blacked out there. Some sort of boxing film from the late 80s. Yeah, that's the reason why I picked it up, and because of the cost. So yeah. And then we have the classic, which I have seen before, but I don't remember that much from it. But yeah, Saturday Night Fever, classic film. I think everyone already knows about that one. Then I picked up Wild Things, which I have seen once or twice before, and I thought it was a really entertaining, like thriller, like crime thriller type of deal. I've only heard bad things about the sequels, though. I'm not gonna check those out. Then I picked up Operation Delta Force 2 Mayday, which I thought was the last one that I needed to get, but apparently I still need to get part 3 because apparently I picked up Delta Force 3 and not Operation Delta Force 3, which is just, yeah, sort of like mind fucking away with the titles there. But I've heard these are really cheap, made for TV type of action films, but I still wanted to get those. So yeah. Then this one is considered a classic, I believe. Never seen it before though, but Boogie Nights. Most people probably know about this film. Directed by, what's his name, Paul Thomas Anderson. Then we have a Danish film which I watched quite recently called Flickering Lights. This was really hilarious and really fun. I'm not really sure if this has gotten some sort of US or UK release or whatever, but this was a really entertaining crime comedy type of deal, so yeah, Flickering Lights. Then finally I picked up the third one, so now I have all the three films. Rush Hour 3, which is, I would say, is the weakest in the series. But still, I mean, it's still hilarious fun with Chris Tucker and Jackie Chan, so yeah. And then I picked up these films. I've never seen any of these films before, but I've only heard good things about them. I think they're considered to be one of the best films with Jim Carrey. The films are Ace Ventura and Ace Ventura, what's it called? When Nature Calls, I believe the English title for the sequel is. So yeah, Ace Ventura films. Then we have the next stack over here. A film which I thought I had before, but I didn't apparently, but now I have it. A Field in England. Some sort of depressing war type of deal, I believe. And then we have this one, which is called Universal Soldier 2, Brothers in Arms. Apparently this is another made-for-TV film. Picked up this mainly because of Gary Busey. And it's so weird because this film came out before Universal Soldier The Return, which had Van Damme in it. I just think it's so weird because they made like two made-for-TV films before that film came out. So yeah, doesn't really make any sense, but yeah. Then a film that I wanted to see for such a long time. The film is Quicksilver with Kevin Bacon. 80s drama film, I believe, about Kevin Bacon being like some sort of cyclist, and he has some struggles to go through. I have no idea really what it is about, but I mean the storyline sounded quite interesting, and the cast is just amazing. I think Kevin Bacon is a really underrated actor in general, so yeah, Quicksilver. Then we got this one. Charles Bronson is resurrected from the grave. Death Kiss. But yeah, this is not Charles Bronson, even though it might look like it. This is actually his lookalike actor called, I think his name is Robert Kovacs. Apparently he's a Hungarian actor, and he has figured, well, I look like Charles Bronson, let's just make some films. Not really. I'm not really heard anything about this particular film, if it's good or not. But I just mainly picked it up because he looks so damn much like Charles Bronson. So yeah. Then we have Stranger by Night. This is some late 90s crime thriller type of deal. I think this might be made for TV. I'm not really sure if I said that, but yeah. Never seen it before though. Then we have White Line Fever. This one I've never seen before either. This is from the 70s. Surprisingly though, this looks like a quite violent film, but it's just rated PG, which is just baffling to me. I think this is actually directed by the same guy who did... Was it The Silence of the Lambs? No, I'm not really sure. I can be so wrong about this now. I'm not gonna shut up here now. But yeah, White Line Fever. The main reason why I picked this one up was because Jan-Michael Vincent in this. Jan-Michael Vincent is in it. Damn, can't speak today. Then we have two Vinegar Syndrome titles. First one is The Cutthroats, which is apparently a limited edition as well. That's another reason why I picked it up. It's only limited to 1,500 copies. And apparently this is rated X. Then we have a film called Flesh and Bullets. This was pretty much a blind buy, but I'm a big fan of Vinegar Syndrome releases in general. But when I realized that Robert Z'Dar is in this one, I was like, oh man, this is going to be awesome. Because he is like, there's a picture of him on the back here, but I can't recognize him because his shin isn't as big as it was later on. I know that sounds really weird, but yeah, I think it's one of his earliest roles, really. So yeah, Flesh and Bullets. Then we have a film which I think most people know about. I've never seen this one before, but the film is called The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Yeah, some weird comedy film, I believe. So yeah. Now that's all of the That's all of the non-horror films. Now let's go through all of the horror films. So I'm actually gonna start with the Blu-rays actually. So yeah, first up we have the Zodiac Killer, which I have seen before. I mean, the entire like backstory to why this film was made in the first place is much more interesting than the film itself. Because apparently they made this film, and when they were going to show this in the theaters or at the local cinemas, they actually just put some traps in there just to catch the killer, because they thought that the Zodiac Killer himself would go to the theaters to watch a film about himself. I think that's really not hilarious, but I think that's just interesting to say the least. And this Blu-ray also contains a bonus film, or like a bonus film movie, which is Another Son of Sam from 1977, which I haven't seen. I'm not sure if that's a sequel or something to an older film, because it's called Another Son of Sam. But yeah, I remember I really liked the look of the killer in the Zodiac Killer. Even though, I mean, the film itself isn't really the greatest, but I really like the look of him. So yeah, if that makes any sense. Then we have a film which I've been on a hunt for quite some time, and I'm so glad that I found it. And the movie is called Evils of the Night. Some weird ass sci-fi horror action. I'm not really sure what to call it. That's what I've been told. Apparently, it's quite sleazy as well. But I really like the front cover that they obviously like stolen that particular image from somewhere else. But I'm gonna let you judge for yourself about that. So yeah, Evils of the Night. Then we have the film called Zombie Island Massacre, with a really fancy like slipcover. I'm not really sure if you can see that. This is another Vinegar Syndrome release. I think this is some sort of like slasher film, but I could be so wrong about that. Because I've seen it like pop up from time to time in all of these like slasher videos or like slasher lists on the IMDb as well. But yeah, let me know if that's wrong or if that's true. So yeah, Zombie Island Massacre. Then this one might not really be horror film, but I just decided to throw it in there because it's a trauma film, and I think this might be one of the very first trauma films like ever. Yeah, the film is called Cry Uncle. Might be more of a comedy than a straightforward like horror film, but yeah, not really sure. Now let's see here. The next one is maybe not really a horror either. It's more maybe of a sci-fi film, because this is made for TV, and the reason why I put it in the horror section was because Bruce Campbell was in it. So, and the film is called Alien Apocalypse. Yeah. Then we have a film released by Massacre Video, and this is another limited edition of only 1,000 copies, apparently, at least according to the back of this DVD. And the film is called Escape from the Insane Asylum. Apparently, this is also known as Night of Terror, which is, I mean, not really that much original title, to be honest. I think the Escape from the Insane Asylum is a much better title. But I would say, I think it seems like the Night of Terror is a much longer version for some reason. Don't really know why. Maybe they cut out some gore or something back in the day. I'm not really sure, but yeah. Then we have a UK horror film called Razorblade Smile. I think this is directed by the same guy who did, I think he did Pumpkinhead 3, and he also did Doghouse, I believe. I'm not really sure if it's the same guy, really. Jake West. I'm pretty sure he directed Doghouse. That's what I'm sure of. But yeah, Razorblade Smile. Then we have a killer animal attack film called Killer Fish. The main reason why I picked up this one was because it's directed by, I think this is directed by Antonio Margaretti. I'm not really sure how you pronounce his name, but the same guy who did Cannibal Apocalypse. And also it has James Franciscus and Karen Black in it, so that's another selling point for me. And also I think that DVD is quite hard to come across these days as well, so that's another reason why I picked it up. Then this is a complete blind buy, really. The film is called The Demoness. This is also known as what's it called as well? I think it's known as The Crier or something. I'm not really sure, but yeah, if you just type this in on IMDb, I think you'll probably find it anyway. So yeah, low budget schlock from the late 90s, early 2000s, I believe. And then we have I'm not sure if this is more of a sci-fi than a horror film, but yeah, the film is called Strange Invaders. Just look at that cover art. I think that's amazing. Then a film which I have seen before, but I think I have the UK release, and I decided to pick up this Swedish release because it has Swedish subtitles, and the film is called Open Water. This is based off of true events, which is just horrifying to think of. I mean, if someone would ask me, what are you afraid of? I mean, I'm not really afraid of that much things at all, but if you were just stuck out in the middle of nowhere in the ocean, that's like the worst nightmare of all time, really. Not of all time, but one of the worst nightmares you can think of. So yeah, Open Water. I think this is a really good film, even though I have to say that I think The Reef is a little bit better than this one. So if you haven't seen The Reef, I mean, if you've seen this one and you didn't care for it, go watch The Reef. I think you'll probably like that a little bit more than this one. So yeah, but I still think it's a good film. Then we have a killer tire film called Rubber, which I've only heard really weird things about, and that's the main reason why I picked it up. And also it has Wings Hauser in it, so yeah, Rubber. Then finally I picked up this film by Gaspar Noé. I'm not really sure how you pronounce his name, but Enter the Void. I have yet to watch Irreversible or I Stand Alone, and yeah, I think I have both of those films in my collection, but I have yet to watch them, so I'm probably gonna watch those before I watch this one, because I think this was released much later than those two films. So yeah, Enter the Void. Then I picked up this one. I'm really glad that I found this particular version of the film, because apparently the version I had before was like the rated R version, I believe, and I think this is supposed to be the fully uncut or like director's cut version of the film. And the film is Murder Set Pieces. I think most people already know about this film that are into like extreme cinema or like extreme horror films. The movie itself, though, is pretty damn stupid, really. But I mean, I think I'm sort of a completist and I want the real deal, really. So yeah. Then we have a film, like an anthology horror film called Body Bags, which I have seen once before. And I think this is quite underrated, and I really like John Carpenter's like narration throughout this these stories, really. So yeah, Body Bags. Then we have some Olaf Ittenbach films, the German director who's probably most known for The Black Past and The Burning Moon, and probably also by Prometheus, the Lord of the Living Dead. But this one is this film called Dard Divorce. Never seen before, but looking forward to it. Even though I heard that's supposed to be one of his weakest films, I'm also waiting for his film to arrive called No Reason, which I think I ordered as well quite recently now, so yeah. And then we have his film Beyond the Limits, which I think is one of his... I've not seen it myself yet, but I've heard this is supposed to be one of his better films. And this was released back in 2003 apparently, so yeah, Beyond the Limits. And finally, we end this video with another disturbing film, apparently. I mean, I've been told that this is disturbing and a part of the whole, like, extreme horror films, or, like, extreme cinema. The movie is called Snowtown, which is apparently based off of true events that took place in Australia back in the 90s, I believe. I can be so wrong about when this took place, but I think it was back in the 90s, and apparently there were some really horrific things going on in this story. I've not read about anything about the film, like what it contains or what it's all about. I just mainly picked it up because I've been told that this is really disturbing, so like, oh, better add this to my disturbing collection. So yeah, or like disturbing movies collection. So now I've almost been talking for 20 minutes, so I'm just gonna shut up and end the video as soon as possible. So yeah, keep your eyes open for the next video, and yeah, see you next time. Bye bye.